Welcome to live coverage of the GT1 class of the 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs presented by Subway at Road America for the second straight year. And you want to talk about stretching your legs, these GT1 boys know how to get it done here. I'm Jim Trado along with Dorsey Schrader. And Dorsey, these are the twins, the cousins, the Trans Am, a series you had so much success in. What do we expect to see at a beautiful course like this with these awesome machines?
These cars actually were, in most cases, the Trans Am cars. These are the fastest of the GT cars. That 700 horsepower, throw that out the window. They've allowed these guys to run NASCAR 358 cubic inch motors. Why, I don't know, but that puts them in the 800 category of horsepower.
Crazy.
Yeah, 188 mile per hour they'll be running around here. So the top three of those cars I have raced against before, but like I say, the modifications now with bigger engines, the cars also weigh more than they used to. But these are very, very fast cars, no question about it.
And the neat thing about it is we've got Cliff Eben, a driver from Appleton. He won this race last year, won in 2003, and Michael Lewis. I mean, these guys are champions in their divisions. Michael Lewis going for the super sweep. We're going to now check in with John Bizignano on pit road for an update before we go green on the GT1 class. Biz?
Well, if you think Thunder Alley made some noise for the A sedans, these GT1 cars are really going to light up. The beautiful Mustangs, the Jaguar, this was a car built by Paul Genelosi. Corvettes, that red car is actually driven by Amy Ruman, who is our fastest qualifying female so far this weekend. These are the old, I don't want to say old, the Trans Am cars of before. Trans Am was the longest, one of the most popular series that the SCCA or any road racing class forever ran in the United States. Great fan base, ran out of popularity when things got tough and a lot of imports were taking over the sales market of these type of cars, but they're back strong. They've always been very popular for the SCCA, and GT1 is making a statement here. You know, I said it before, but Detroit's back, and so are these cars. I can't wait to hear them. I can't wait to see them. 165, 70 miles an hour in Detroit iron around Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. This is going to be great.
And you can tell, Dorsey, by what they have, these are far from a stock vehicle. Look at the bodywork, but what if you peel it back, what do you find underneath?
There's actually nothing stock on that car with the exception of they usually do use the same taillight lens cover as the street car. Underneath that car,
That's it, huh?
You have a 358 cubic inch V8, 800 horsepower, hooked through a 5-speed transmission. They still have stick axle. They're not independent rear suspension. They still have solid rear axle. Capable of 180 plus mile per hour here. They'll be the fastest top end cars with the most horsepower. And for those of the people that love the sound of a screaming V8, what are you going to hear these ones? Because they'll run these cars up 85, 8,600 RPM.
You were on the pole here in 84 in the Trans Am Series and won the race in 84, Trans Am Series Championship in 89. What did you enjoy about racing a car just like this at Road America?
Well, in a Trans Am day, I mean, these cars are very big, powerful cars, and you can really, really lean on each other. Trans Am Series was known for a lot of battles and really, really good driving. These guys are, of course, not factory back like we were, so they've got to take care of the equipment a little bit better than I had to. I was a paid gun, a guy to get the job done, so to speak. So, we really roughed each other up pretty hard. These guys will race hard. There's no question about it. Amy Ruman would like to get up there with her Corvette. Her dad raced that same car in Trans Am against me during its time. Of course, Mike Lewis runs Trans Am.
And an update, Trans Am did run here this year. There's still a Trans Am Series. Amy was on the podium for that here at Road America.
These are going to be very, very fast cars. Make no mistake about it. I mean, the fans love them. The old Wooma everybody talks about, this sound will echo through the canyons 10 miles from here.
The Turn 5 is where you want to sit. If you've never been to Road America,
absolutely.
You want to watch these cars in Turn 5. This is how they're going to roll off the grid. Cliff Eben on the pole position, the Central Division champion, winning 5 out of 6 races, and the June sprints here. Michael Lewis is the national points champion, going for the super sweep. He'll start outside of row number 1 in his Jag. In row number 2, Amy Ruman, tying her career best runoff start at 3rd on the grid. Next to Simon Gregg, as you mentioned, with Jim Durhog overseeing the prep on that number 9 machine. Simon Gregg starting 4th. In the 5th position is Ryan McManus, the 60 machine. He finished 4th here last year and actually started fourth here last year and had a DNF very late, so Ryan McManus looking for a bit of redemption here today. Starting in the 6th spot is Terry Giles from Loxahatchee, Florida. He finished 3rd here in the June Sprint, so he knows what it's like to step on the box here at Road America this past June. In row number 4, Rick Dittman out of Prairie View, Illinois. 2nd in the Central Division. They raced here 3 times this year, so he's got a lot of track experience just in 2010. And Denny Lamers, long-time involvement with Cliff Evan. He's behind the wheel for his 2nd straight runoffs. He finished 9th a year ago in the 66. Jim Bradley in the 0-1 finished 5th in the Great Lakes division. To his outside, the 0-5 of David Furstand out of Fort Worth, Texas. 12th, he finished 10th actually last year in his 12th runoff start. This is year 13 for him to run at the runoffs. Starting row 7, the 84 of Randy Rosenmerkel from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 13th in this race last year. To his outside, the 18 of Paul Michoud out of Marengo, Illinois, in a Chevy Corvette. Finished 7th in the points in the Central Division this season. Again, a lot of track time for these Central Sendiv guys. Finishing up the lineup here, in row number 8, we find Scott Walton on the inside from Horseshoe Bay, Texas. He was 3rd in the Southwest Division this season. And the Great Lakes Division racer, Carl Jensen, will start up the 87 Chevy Corvette, sponsored by Goodyear and Rex Carswell, in the 16th position. And in our final row, the 20 car, Thomas Stanford from Orland Park, Illinois. 3rd runoff start for him in the Pote Stanford Reporting Company Chevrolet Camaro. And at the tail, Don Noe from Arlington, Texas, in a 1995 Olds Cutlass. I'm guessing that car might have been around racing against the likes of Dorsey Schrader, Tommy Kendall, and those guys.
Probably Irv Hare built, if I would be at a guess.
If it's a Cutlass, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He did a lot of them. Irv did, and then, of course, Paul Gentilozzi had some of the Oldsmobiles, too, back then. In the Trans Am Series. Most of these chassis definitely have seen their battles in Trans Am.
And when it comes to club racing, even guys like Paul Newman, those kind of guys, Jim Fitzgerald, they play around, and then they come back here and play some more.
This was a big class at one point. I mean, very, very big class. When Trans Am was the Pro Series of GT1, if you will. Now, these cars are bigger tires than what we had, bigger engines than what we had. There's a reason they call them ground pounders. I mean, they shake the asphalt when they come down the straightaway.
I would think on a new racetrack, you'd have to worry about this kind of car. Because of the downforce generated, it might just start peeling up that asphalt.
Well, these things would, too. I mean, when we run some of the street courses we used to run on and stuff like that, we would tear up asphalt with these cars. They have a tremendous amount of horsepower and torque, and these are running bigger rear tires by a considerable amount than what the Trans Am car did, so that gives them even more grip and more ability to do that damage to the track.
Well, Dorsey Schrader, here in the 2010 SCCA National Championship runoffs, we've had a number of classes where it's like, that's a given. This guy's going to win this race. And we've seen some upsets, and we've seen some guys that checked out, or should have checked out, have some struggles and some issues. Cliff Evan appears to be the odds-on favorite here today.
He is indeed the odds-on favorite. He won the June Sprints here as well earlier in the year. But like I say, these are highly stressed cars. Anything can happen. Mike Lewis will give them a good tussle. They're not that far off in times, qualifying-wise. Amy Ruman, too. Her and Simon Gregg, I think, will have a really, really good race amongst the two of them.
And Michael Lewis just put posting times on 2 of the 3 qualifying days. Was not here for day number 1. He, in the past, has run up to 2 classes. He's run GT3, where he's won 3 national championships, and his lone GT1 championship came in 1995. So as far as Michael Lewis and his contention for the Super Sweep, he certainly has a front row starting spot to earn that. But Cliff Evan, really on home turf, has been bulletproof here at Road America. For those of you not familiar, the Super Sweep began last year as a compilation of really acknowledging the best of the best, winning your division in a given season, winning one of the 9 designated key races throughout the country, each division hosting one of those events, winning the national points, which Michael Lewis has, and winning the runoffs. Those 4 points add up to the Super Sweep, and Lewis is the only driver eligible with the National Points Championship for that honor in this event.
In Trans Am, we would normally run a 310 cubic inch V8. These guys, I told you, are running like 358 cubic inch, which is the same basic block head situation that NASCAR runs. And the reason I think that they've switched and allowed that to happen is that the 310 cubic inch engine was never a production engine. It was actually a purpose-built engine for racing that Chevrolet and Ford and Dodge and Chrysler put together to run in Trans Am. So with the factories not being here, those 358 blocks are the same blocks that that NASCAR has used in many, many of its divisions. So those are readily available. The Truck Series runs basic, or has run that thing, as the Nationwide Cup did too, as well as Cup. So there's a lot of that technology out here, although I don't know that you need 800-plus horsepower in one of these cars.
Well, Herb Hare used to use Wagner Automotive engines. Simon Gregg's car does now, so I would think that NASCAR-type technology coming here makes a lot of sense.
Well, it's different. I mean, the Trans Am, you could run V6s, and Wagner did have the best Oldsmobile-based V6, and that was a lighter-weight car. Now, the 310 cubic inch engines, they were out there in a different weight category. They were heavier than the V6, and these 358s are heavier than what the Trans Am car was running the 310. These cars up around 3,000 pounds now.
Taking their warm-up laps again, the Gummont pole went to Cliff Eben, the out-and-out favorite going into this event, winner in 2009 and 2003 here in the National Championship Runoffs. Last year, the first year on home turf here, and the lights are out. We're about half a lap away, Dorsey. Yep. Not even.
We'll hear this one go by. These, unlike NASCAR, are muffled cars. They do run mufflers in these cars, and with that muffler being inside the door, essentially, they're very hot inside. The drivers really go through a lot of heat in these cars. A cool day like this is a nice day to race on. It'll still be 140-plus degrees inside that cockpit.
13 laps to decide the national champion in the GT1 category. The sun is shining, perhaps the warmest part of the day, perhaps the warmest part since we started competition for running for the national championships yesterday morning. Going through turn 14 now, and we'll take you around this race. There's Chris Kelly in that number 3 machine. He finished 4th here last year. He and Amy Ruman spun right there on the last lap in the battle for 4th 1 year ago. We'll see if Amy can improve on her best ever run of 5th a year ago in the runoffs. Up the hill here.
Got to be kind to your brakes here. This place is a really hard racetrack on these heavy cars to try to get them stopped from 180.
And down the front stretch we go. We're underway. On the inside is that Ford Mustang of Cliff Eben. We'll see if Michael Lewis can tuck his Jaguar in there out front, or will he tuck in behind?
He's going to run to the outside, side by side through turn 1.
Not giving an inch here. Giving room is Eben, with Lewis still on the outside going out of this next corner. It's a right-hander here.
Lewis got the run around the outside. I think Eben just gave it to him versus have to run down into the brake zone side by side with all these other cars behind.
Eben, the out-and-out winner a year ago, 10-plus seconds his margin of victory. Now sitting second here as the field rolls down from 3 down into 5 in that tight left-hander.
And this is where you want to watch him, just like you said, down that hill at 180 miles an hour, trying to get this big beast stopped.
Michael Lewis in that Jaguar car he's had it for the last couple of years, working through that corner first.
I took that turn 5 down there in first gear. You'd accelerate out of there at second, hit third gear, and then back to second as you turned into turn 6, top of the hill.
And there's Cliff Eben, a brand new Mustang this year. As far as technology and such, he put a lot of time and effort into this. Cliff Eben out of Appleton, Wisconsin, running second now in that brand spanking new Mustang. And it's an 03 body style for this Jaguar, which I'm sure has seen many updates from Michael Lewis, our current leader here in the 12.
Now, these are big, heavy cars. So
spin.
Spin there, no harm.
Is that Simon Gregg?
No,
he's in a white machine. Sorry. Just trying to figure out by position here on the starting grid. We have a scoring refresh. The 60 machine. That is Ryan McManus, who started in the 5th position.
So
he cooked it right there.
8. Yep, absolutely cold tire spin, I'm sure. I was about to say these are big, heavy cars, and in this carousel corner, this 180-degree corner, it's really hard to get that car to go all the way around that corner without getting loose.
And here is Michael Lewis in the 12 machine out of Poway, California, the 2001 Jaguar XKR. Not the 03. Looks at him. Just go through the gears. Thunder Valley.
That's what they call that Thunder Valley Ford, too. I said you can hear these echoing V8s all over the place.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love the sound of these.
Off turn 14, and they don't really twitch much, do they? I mean, if they are on all the way, or they get loose.
They'll get loose.
They will? Okay.
What will happen with these cars is that they're going to burn off the fuel. The fuel tank on these cars are behind the rear axle. So as they burn fuel, the back of the car keeps getting lighter and lighter. With 800 horsepower, they're also going to start wearing out that rear tire. Watch these cars as they typically would start a race. They will be understeered. The guys will have them to where they're pushing and not wanting to get loose, because as it burns off that fuel and the tires go away, by the end of the race, they're going to have a handful of rear steer going on.
It's right down on full load in the rear. This car is maybe the best balance it's going to be.
Yeah, well, you set it up actually to be a little bit too tight on the front end with the full fuel load on, and then it's going to get toward neutral in the middle of the race, and toward the end, you're going to be just a little bit tail happy.
And they're flying. Formula Atlanta cars are about 2 minutes a lap, and in qualifying, it was a 2:05.0 for Cliff Eben on the pole. These guys are flying.
If you look at a Formula Atlantic overlay on speed off a computer to a Trans Am car or one of these GT1 cars, obviously the Trans Am cars are faster in a straight line. They're much quicker on top end than the Atlantic car is. Of course, they have to slow up a lot faster than the Atlantic car does. They run, like you say, very close to the same lap time, but they don't do it the same way.
Well, Mike Lewis getting it done at the front right now. Cliff Eben runs second. We'll get the order for you here. Amy Ruman runs in third. Simon Gregg fourth. Rick Dittman is in the fifth position. Good run by Rick, who started in the seventh spot. Then comes Chris Kelly. We mentioned he got in that tussle. Chris hasn't run Trans Am full-time, hasn't run in the GT1 category full-time.
There's Simon Gregg. And
there's Simon.
Orange and white colored car. That's Jim Durhock's car. Wagner builds the V8 on that. A little smoke looked like coming off that kink.
Simon from Ponte Verde Beach, Florida, runs in the Southeast Division, won that division title with 6 wins in 7 events this season. That's Amy Ruman right here in the 23. That's the Corvette she races now. Their dad raced in Trans Am. There's Simon Gregg in fourth.
Amy does a good job with that car. Any trouble with those two guys in front, she'll be right there.
Rick Dittman, and then all blue number 3 is Chris Kelly, who raced here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series in June. One of his 3 starts.
Rick Dittman, another guy that's been in the Trans Am Series for many, many years.
There's
had
Kelly.
Trouble with his car earlier in the week. Had power steering failure. The rack actually locked up. He couldn't get the car to steer at all. And they had to go into a little bit of a panic mode trying to figure out what the problem there was.
And that's Dittman running in the 5th position there, second car in frame. And good to see Rick Dittman back at full song here. As you mentioned, this is a club level. This is the most powerful machine we can put fenders on and race at club levels. And there's Rick Dittman there using up every inch of this racetrack. It's kind of neat how they flare out when they have to. He finished second in the Central Division. So Dittman, as far as getting track time here at Road America, this is right in his wheelhouse.
Oh, he's been doing it for a long time, too. He's been around this racetrack for many, many, many years. These cars with the bigger tires, bigger package, I would say, they've got a lot of grip for sure. I don't know how much they have to control their tire wear. We used to have to control it quite a lot, but these have significantly better rear tires than what we ran on.
Rick Dittman into turn number 5. We see that little backfire going down through the gears.
Yeah. That's just a lot of running raw fuel in the exhaust system popping out of there every time he's doing a shift. Also, when you see that, can also be a crack in one of the headers, and it's sucking a little air in there. The way that one's acting, that's what it looks like.
That's Chris Kelly's number 3 we were talking about as he went down into 5. Now we're heading down into the left-hander turn 8. Under the Johnsonville Bridge, Simon Gregg leading this trio. We're in the 4th, 5th, and 6th position. Gregg running a Corvette. That is obviously a Chevy Camaro by Chris Kelly. And Kelly, I believe, drove this very same car a year ago. Had a very strong run. And last year, again, recovered to finish 4th. Didn't lose a spot, but he and Amy Ruman had a great race behind Cliff Eben in this featured event in the GT1 and the runoffs at their inaugural run last year at Road America.
You got to start watching these cars when they get somewhere near half distance. You'll see which cars, how the setup affects them, because usually about halfway through the race, you can really start feeling a difference in these cars and their amount of grip and which end of the race car is going to start. It's going to start favoring.
And here are the leaders through turn 14 up this 1 mile long straightaway. Michael Lewis leading, got the lead on the outside of 1 at the initial start. Cliff Eben runs second, and Eben ran away from him last year. There was no question what he's doing. So Eben, as we've discussed and documented earlier in the weekend, Eben may have a really fast race car, but right now he's gauging what Michael Lewis has.
I believe you're right there. I don't think Cliff is really giving 10-10 a commitment right now. It looks like he's content to sit back there and watch for a minute, see what Michael Lewis has got, and run off some laps, which is the way we used to have to do Trans Am races, actually. You couldn't run. These cars have so much power, you can overpower the rear tires in 3 laps. If you went as fast as you possibly could, you could absolutely run the tires off.
And our third place cars, we're getting word from their corner stations that Amy Ruman's Chevy Corvette may have a slight leak. They're keeping an eyeball on that. She's well behind this lead, back by 7 seconds now behind this effort. This is the top 2 off of turn number 5 under the Toyota Bridge. Hard left turn, turn 6. And Amy Ruman's number 23 Corvette will come into frame here shortly. And again, the corner workers are keeping an eyeball on the backside to see if anything's billowing out or dropping from that machine.
A couple of different hoses that are back there in the back of the Trans Am car, one of which is an overflow for the, if you're overheating, the tube is all the way in the back there. Also, sometimes the catch can for the oil's back there. We don't know if that's what that is because we haven't actually seen the car smoking yet. But we've heard that the corner workers are observing it. And, of course, that's something that they do. They will report a car that's leaking oil before it gets to be a big problem.
And again, the top 2, Eben is chasing right now, Michael Lewis, and we're going to hold here for the third. This is Amy Ruman in her Corvette. She's got a distance behind her, but again, the corner worker is taking a close look now behind the 23 machine to see if there's anything coming out the backside.
Yeah, if it is, it's not very much. You don't see much smoke or anything out of that. Like I said, there is a couple of tubes back. There's also a fuel overflow tube back there if they top that completely off, which I don't know what size fuel cell they're running here today.
working lap number 4. This is Amy Ruman in position for a bronze medal. That would be her best finish in the runoffs.
Not lapping very quickly. 2:06 is the quickest time. Well, I say that's not that far off. It's about a second off what qualifying pole was.
And if anybody's glad to see that the runoffs moved to Road America, it's Amy Ruman. She had a finish of 17th, 14th, and 7th at Heartland Park in the 3 years of the runoff. So coming here is a blessing for her. She loves this racetrack. It's no question. Watching her race here last year and the challenge she put on for 4th position at the very end, she was all about getting a top 3 run. And right now she's sitting in 3rd. And again, the concern for the corner workers continues, but no other update there. So perhaps that little bit of a leak went away.
Big cars like big racetracks, and this is a big racetrack, and these are big cars. So.
Now let's take the flip side here, Dorsey. This car, a Trans Am car, when you run on a very small technical course, it almost feels like you're driving a semi through a city streets, right?
It's much harder on a small course. You know, when we used to run street courses and so forth, to take one of these big cars and finesse it around a tight course is a pretty hard thing to do. You know, they don't like it. They like to go fast, and that's what this racetrack's all about.
There's no detuning here. You don't have to worry about slowing it down because you don't want to get top speed because you might run out of brakes. And the driver up front continues to be Michael Lewis, and Cliff Evans stalking in his tire tracks right here. That's about all I can say right now. He's on pace here. We're working lap number 5 of 13. That white-blue Mustang behind our race leader Michael Lewis is Cliff Evans.
Cliff doesn't look to me like he's in any kind of a rush right now. It looks like he's just running off some laps and kind of observing, seeing what his opportunities might be.
And that 3 cars under the Sargento Bridge will follow for 12th now. It's Ryan McManus in the 60 machine. We mentioned he had it off early on. He started the 5th spot. He's recovered now to run in 12th. That's the car leading here, the orange car with the yellow stripes. He's in the number 84 of Randy Rosenmerkel here.
Some of these older chassis, too, you know, there's a bunch of different configurations of these cars, GT1 and Trans Am. Some of these cars, the older cars, like that car has a 5-lug bolt pattern on the wheel instead of a mono-lug. It might have a 4-speed transmission, not a 5. It could have, you know, a T10 in it. Some of these cars had different rules when they were built, different packages, if you will, and ran at different race weights as a result.
And that all comes into a factor here. All those things as these racers come from across the country, 9 different divisions throughout the SCCA regions across America. Win a division, win the national points, win the one of 9 key events throughout the country in each region, and have a chance to win here at the runoffs. That equals one opportunity, a very, very special opportunity to win the super sweep. And speaking of sweeping, here goes Eben.
Yeah, I was about to say that before. Eben is starting to feel his oats, if you will. You know, he's closed up a little bit closer to Mike's back, and I think now he's going to start playing cat and mouse, see where he can get him.
Michael Lewis is in position to win that super sweep if he was able to hold off Cliff Evans, but now he's just doing that little peek here, Dorsey. When you're in that position, it's got to be fun in second. Not so much fun in first when you see him kind of darting and backing away from you.
Yeah, like I said, when you've got so much power, so much torque in these cars, you can abuse the tires. You can run out of tire before the end of the race. I think Cliff knows that. You know, you can't win this till the last lap.
Well, he gave it a look earlier in this lap. Turn 5, about halfway through here, going up to turn number 6. Lewis pulls him just a little bit.
Got a little loose on the entry there, Mike did.
Midway through the event, you're saying this may be the best handling. I kind of guessed early on because of the heavy fuel load, but right now we're looking at the sweet spot.
Yeah, midway is when you should be getting pretty close to a real neutral, nice car to have, and it's going to loosen up as you go because you're putting down 800 horsepower through those rear wheels. You know, you're going to lose some of the rear grip, and then you're losing percentage of weight at the back, and of course that percentage of weight is helps you on straight line acceleration.
They were running 2:12s on the initial lap, and now we're down to 2:07.5 for race leader Michael Lewis. 2:09.342 for Amy Ruman, so they're opening up that gap. Are the leaders to third place, Amy Ruman.
Cliff Evans is putting pressure on now. That's what you're going to see. The times are going to come down. Mike Lewis so far has had it pretty easy, but Evans decided now it's time to race.
When will Evan pounce and where? If he has the opportunity, it appears he is in position here. He's stayed about this distance since the drop of the green when Michael Lewis powered around the outside of the pole sitter. Cliff Evans in that white 36.
This could be something his crew's telling him too. You know that you've run past halfway now. You're halfway through the race. It's time to start getting aggressive. That's how we always played the game. You know, if you got down to the last 10 laps, well, then you were good to go.
Michael Lewis leading here in the Goodyear Cyclo red line. Jaguar XKR over Cliff Evans in that 36. His Mustang, sponsored by McMahon Group, Stuck Ford, and Lamers Racing.
Mike Lewis actually stepped up the pace a little bit that time, opened the gap up past the lap time. Those Evans right now to 6-1.
And as these two leaders break away from the field, it looks like Cliff Evans may wait a little bit longer, so we're going to step away and come back for more exciting GT1 action here at Road America in the 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs presented by Subway. Don't you go anywhere.
The 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Subway, is brought to you by Mazda, Black Magic Car Care Products, and Gum Out.
Forget the rock. Let's roll. Follow your inner driver to the all-new 2011 Mazda 2. It's Zoom Zoom. Concentrated.
Kid, where you been?
Just got back from an SCCA event.
Really?
Yeah, SCCA has more than 2,000 events every year.
Serious?
Go to SCCA.com and find people in your area that drive fast and get their hands dirty. And you don't have to be a supercar to compete.
So I go to SCCA.com, sign up, and I can start competing?
It's that easy.
And welcome back to the GT1 race. That is a two-car chase right now. Michael Lewis continuing to dice his way through these 14 turns at Road America, leading the number 36 of Cliff Eben of Appleton, Wisconsin. Lewis out of Poway, California again, in search of his 5th national championship and 2nd in GT1 and the super sweep if he's able to hold on for victory here. Working lap number 7 as they come down.
Doesn't look like either car has lost much mechanical grip. We don't see the tails wagging yet. I don't see any black marks coming out from the back of the tires, which if I were driving, I'd be putting black marks out. I'll tell you that.
Well, we're glad to have you up here because these guys look like they're having fun all by themselves on the racetrack right now. They've got quite a gap back to third. Amy Ruman. Simon Gregg runs 4th. Rick Dittman remains in 5th. Chris Kelly is running 6th right now. Jim Bradley back in 7th. Denny Lamers in 8th. 9th position is Terry Giles in the 85 machine. And David Firsthand has moved up from 10th. Actually stays 10th on the racetrack right now.
With over 800 horsepower, you can spin the tires up on one of these at any point on the racetrack. I mean, these guys are doing a really good job of finessing the throttle pedal and just really feeding the horsepower to the rear wheels because you can light these up and go up in smoke. A lot of power here.
And there's such a nice line they're running here. I don't see a lot of, we talked about maybe the rear end's going to start breaking loose here, but Lewis is on a path and Evans just following him through here.
Yeah, it doesn't, Cliff hasn't really, to me, shown any real hard pressure yet. He gave a couple little looks earlier on, but I haven't seen anybody locking brakes up. I haven't seen anybody, leaving big black marks on the rubber, leaving corners, which means that they're getting pretty desperate. So I don't know if the two of them are still within their confine and they're not ready to make that commitment, but we'll know shortly.
And here's a run for 9th. As we mentioned, McManus in the 60. Ryan McManus spun in the first lap. He's now wide from 12th and off the racetrack.
Way wide of turn 1. Too much speed there. Got in the dirty part. You can see all the dust come up.
That's the 05 of David Firsthand. That old Cutlass. He's now in the 9th spot. McManus had the spot until turn 1 when he went wide. He's back to 10th.
Yeah, just got too far out there. Too much speed got on the outside. It's really dirty out there. And once you get in that, particularly with these big tires on these cars, they pick up a lot of junk. And no way to stop the car.
Chris Kelly is off the pace, the driver that we thought was going to be in contention after running 4th a year ago. Had a couple of NASCAR Nationwide Series starts. Actually ran all 3 road courses in the Nationwide Series this year, including here at Road America. He is off the pace now. Kyle Kelly, The 01 machine here. This is 6th place. Jim Bradley leading Denny Lamers. Denny's first ever runoffs was a year ago. Longtime sponsor of Cliff Eben. You see Lamers motor coaches all over Road America. A great carrier company. And Denny Lamers loves racing.
The car looks almost like the old Huffaker car that I drove. It was a Coffee Critic car back then, just by the paint job. I don't know if that is the same car or not, but I drove one very similar to that.
Jim Bradley's got Optical 1 on board of his 2002 Chevy Corvette out of Gaston, Indiana. 5th in the Great Lakes region in that yellow 01 this season. All right, Dorsey, drive it for him. What would you be doing right here?
Go faster. This racetrack on these cars, this is a fun place to have a big fast car like this. The lap times here, you're really going fast, and that's what I think all race car drivers really like.
And Denny Lamers really, I think, climbed off of Cliff Evans' pit box and said, I want to go racing too. Both came back to the club racing in 2009. Evan hadn't raced or qualified for the runoffs since 2005 in a Corvette. Came back with a Ford, and it looks like Lamers is having as much fun as Cliff Eben. A man, he's back for many years.
It'll be interesting to see what these cars are like now with the more horsepower. Not so much the horsepower, but the bigger wheel tire package and the heavier weight. I'm not a proponent of heavier weight usually. I don't think that part I'd like, but
And these are your race leaders. We thought Evan was just going to hang with Michael Lewis and see what's going on, but look at this. Lewis now opening up just the slightest of margins here through the carousel.
Yeah, both these guys have a lot of experience in these cars. You know, they're not, it's not their first rodeo by any means. Evan is not close enough to really put the pressure on as we see one of the cars being
Chris
towed.
Kelly. Chris
Kelly's
Kelly.
car broke, is towing up pit lane now. Kyle
Kyle,
Kelly.
why do I keep saying Chris Kelly? I'm sorry. Kyle Kelly running on the racetrack. And that is your race leader. That has not changed. Michael Lewis continues to lead the 36 of Cliff Evan here. Lap times last time were 207.29. We'll see if Lewis picks up his pace as Evans just 2 or 3 car lengths behind him as he was a lap ago. If you laid over the laps here, 1 lap ago, Evan was right behind Lewis off of 14.
Both guys doing a good job of managing their car. It just doesn't look like they're running at 10/10. You're not seeing any drama here. Normally you would start seeing, little puffs of tire smoke getting into the corner, a little twitch at the back of the car, some rubber coming off onto the ground. So these guys right now, still well within the confines of the car.
207.04 to that lap for Lewis, working lap 10 of 13 here.
Got a little looser that time on the exit 1. Used up a little road there.
And here's the run by the 84 of Rosenmerkel out of Milwaukee, the Sendiv driver.
Takes a dive down into turn 8, makes that pass. That's an older chassis.
82 Pontiac Firebird.
And you can tell it just doesn't even look the same, does it? The 5-on-5 lugs on the wheels versus the monolug, and like I said, this class has really evolved over the years quite a lot.
That's Richard Grant in that blue on green number 30. Richard won the GT4 category in 1990 at the Runoffs out of Germantown, Tennessee. Currently running in the 11th position. On another car having issues here. That's the 89 machine. We talked about the age and experience of a 95 Olds Cutlass. Unfortunately for Don No, who started 18th, he's on pit road right now.
Oh, somebody in a gravel trap.
That the 20 machine. That is Thomas Stanford out of Orland Park, Illinois.
That is right at the entrance to the carousel.
15th at the time of his off.
Down here you see turn 8.
Staying green here.
Amy Ruman, there is Simon Gregg, has caught her up a little bit.
Yep. That's the 24 of Rick Dittman, currently in the 5th position. There's
the stranded car, and it's off out of the way. It's not really too bad. It's off driver's left of the carousel, early in the corner.
And he's buried deep enough where he won't be able to get out of that area. The 07 machine on course in 12th position right now is Scott Walton of Horseshoe Bay, Texas, a 2000 Ford Mustang. 3rd in the Southwest Division. Oh, and he's closing in now on the 30 machine of Grant. Again, that's for 11th.
Scott Walton there in the newer bodied car, 07.
This is the battle for the lead. Is Michael Lewis putting it on? Is Evan kind of saying, wait a minute, I don't know if I have enough right now?
They look awfully evenly matched right now. It's deep enough into the race, you think you'd start seeing some aggression. I saw Mike Lewis last time, as he does once again right there. You saw the black marks coming out of the back of the car. He's starting to loosen up the back of his car, the Jaguar.
207.943 for Lewis that lap, 207.730 for Evan. So Evan did pick up his pace. Again, that's timing right at the start-finish line. So we'll see how they close things up or how things may expand.
And it's the second lap in a row I've seen Lewis's car step out at the back. That time I did see the black rubber from the Trans Am car. As a driver, that's something you could, you're following guy and you're seeing him leaving black marks. He's starting to loosen up. His rear temperatures are high on the tires. You can start really being aggressive with him then.
Literally peeling rubber onto the racetrack.
Oh, yeah. You can leave him. I'm easy to follow.
That could be the line of the day right there, Dorsey.
I was always easy to follow.
Michael Lewis is letting Cliff Evan follow him to this point. Again, working lap 11. There's only 13 laps or 40 minutes, and these guys are really putting out a pace.
Yeah, now Mike Lewis is starting to show me some aggression. I've seen it the last couple of corners, last 2 laps in a row. That time he drove it down really hard in the brake zone, really dropped the nose on the car. So I think now the commitment is full on.
We caught a glimpse of Thomas Stanford's stalled race car. He did climb out. He's behind the barriers by the worker station, so that's a good sign.
These cars nowhere near flat. You could hear that through the kink. Old Trans Am cars weren't either. They were close, but couldn't get it done. Too much weight and too much inertia there.
And I imagine when you come out, there's not enough run. There's not enough run there. The track just wasn't wide enough at the time.
No, you had big four-wheel drifts there, slides through that corner.
Through Thunder Valley up across the Bill Mitchell Bend, and it's again Lewis leading Evan. Time is running out for Cliff Evan to make a challenge here. 11 in this time by.
That time Cliff got too much speed, did not make the apex of turn 14, was wide, didn't drop wheels off, but wasn't particularly a good run up that straightaway either.
So if he's playing with him right now, he's not had a chance to practice his run here off of 14 this lap.
That particular time he had understeer, and understeer, of course, is too much entry speed for the corner. That car might just be too tight on the front end, too much on the nose.
2 circuits remaining, 8 miles to decide. The 2010 SCCA National Champion in GT1. One of 29 classes to be crowned this weekend. 24 events, 29 races.
Car looked better there. Got a good run off turn 3, and that's what you need to run down this big straightaway in the brake zone for turn 5. He's not close enough to make anything happen yet, though.
And we talked about the emotions and the givens, if you will. Oh, Evan's going to walk away with this, no problem. He's running second. He's not been able to pass Michael Lewis since the drop of the green.
This is the proverbial guy on the pit lane with the "make your move now" sign.
Do you have that one hanging up in the garage, Dorsey?
Yeah.
At home? Around the motorhome?
Make your move now. Hurry. Lap traffic could play into this.
Just ahead in 13th is Scott Walton in the 07.
Mike Lewis is going to catch him in the carousel, and that's not a very nice place to catch someone. These cars take up a lot of room, and he's going to get held up.
Here we go. Again, the time is running out. Less than a lap and a half for Lewis to find a room on his shelf for a super sweep trophy.
I think he's going to get it. I don't think Cliff's car's up to the task today.
The super sweep at hand. Very rare opportunity to win a division, national points, a race within the key 9 divisions of SCCA and the SCCA runoffs here today. Lewis has that shot. Evan wants to win his 3rd national championship.
Really thought the lap traffic was going to play more into it, but obviously everything went smoothly there. Both these guys got clean by and really didn't hold either one of them up that much.
And they may not have lap traffic to contend with on this lap. We just saw the 12th place car of Grant go by, start finish.
One last time.
He just went into one as these guys went under the flag.
And Cliff's going to have to drive it deep into these corners and make that ground up under braking. Got a little bit right there. This is where Lewis has been loose. Not too bad that time.
That's the widest Evans been off of turn 1 exit as well. He is now putting every effort forth here in that 2nd place position.
Yeah, he needs to really get down in that corner deeper. He's really he's not getting into the brake zone as deeply as I know he can.
Bit of a twitch there by Evan, closing in on Michael Lewis. Lewis into turn 5, a prime opportunity here for Evan to show what he has. They'll remain single file.
Needs to take 2 car lengths away to really be able to do anything. That's too far back to make any aggressive move from.
Up the hill in the Jaguar, Michael Lewis leads Cliff Evan. This is for the win on the final lap in GT1.
Evan got a good run through there. There's turn 7. There's a good opportunity up ahead. More lap traffic could play into it still.
They are going to catch Grant here in the carousel again.
Yep. And that's a tough one to get around. You got to go around the outside of one of these lap cars. And when you do that, you risk getting into the dirty area and losing grip on your tires. We'll see how it works.
And the corner stations, I saw the blue flag with the yellow stripe. That's not just that start finish. That's at every station. Notifying the driver, hey, there's someone quicker upon you. Make sure you know that they're right there.
Boy,
pick your line.
That's going to get him before the kink, and that's going to really hold him up. That can change it right there.
All right, here we go. Cliff Evan now smelling a chance as a waving blue flag now for Grant in the 30.
Still not by either. Now they go around the outside. This is an opportunity right here down in Canada corner. Nope.
Evan again tucks in. Lewis leads in the Jag. Through Canada corner up to the Bill Mitchell bend. One final time for Evan.
Kind of wondering if Cliff Evan has a brake problem. He just doesn't look to be getting the job done at all in the brake zones.
Down into 14. He's got to be close to that rear bumper to have any chance. And Evan sliding through 14. It may be just handed to Michael Lewis.
That wasn't a good exit whatsoever. Lewis had the better run. I think
the championship, the super sweep to Michael Lewis in GT1 in 2010. Wow. Making a statement here on Cliff Evans' home turf as well. Evan running second. We thought he might have been holding something back. The handling just went away that much. Amy Ruman will finish 3rd. If she makes it through this final corner, 1 year ago she was sideways right there, running for 4th.
And no Simon Gregg behind her. Looked like he had been catching her. But there's Amy. We'll see if Simon comes up behind. Certainly he lost ground to her. She made ground up on him, one or the other. Here he is and does get 4th.
Amy Ruman becomes just the woman since the most recent woman since 1996, when Andrea Kashevitz scored a podium finish in 96 in the Sports 2000 category. So Amy Ruman again, paving the way again, her best ever finish at the Runoffs, and the first woman since 1996 to score a podium finish at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs.
Rick Dickman comes by, takes his checkered flag.
Jim Bradley will come by sixth if all things play out as he plans. And that is our race winner, Michael Lewis out of Poway, California. One division this year, one thing in mind, and he takes home the super sweep. The 0-1 of Jim Bradley now flashing through the finish line to capture sixth. Seventh to the number 85 of Terry Giles. Giles finishes seventh, and we mentioned we kind of charted the progress of Ryan McManus. He'll finish eighth in the number 60 machine. He just went by start-finish as well. Well, spirited run. We thought for sure Cliff Eben would be the man we'd be talking to first, but we're going to take a few moments as the cars continue on their wind-down lap to come up pit road. We'll have a chance to talk to Biz here in a few minutes. We'll step away as GT1 is in the books, and Michael Lewis is your race winner. Here's the unofficial results. Lewis the winner over Cliff Eben. Amy Ruman again on the podium. First woman since 96 in S2000 to score a podium run here at the Runoff. Simon Gregg, a very spirited run in fourth. Finishes 2.5 seconds behind Amy at the finish line. Rick Dittman, a top 5 run for him at the Runoffs. Terry Giles, as we mentioned, 7th. McManus spun early, started 6th, came back to 8th. As far as back as 12th, it was McManus in his machine. First Shannon Rosenmerkel, a top 10 run at the Runoffs. Not too shabby at all. Paul Machute finishes up in the 11th position to begin our second page of a 18 cars that took the green. Richard Grant again, that car that may have played a factor, got out of the way before the kink there. He ends up in the 12th spot. Scott Walton, a lap down in 13th. Denny Lamers had some issues. He was running up a solid 8th place run there in the 66 and had an issue.
And the problem with the carousel and the kink in one of these big cars is there's no getting out of the way to be done. I mean, there is nowhere to hide when you get caught in that situation. And the faster cars tend to have to go around the outside, which is tenuous because you've got the dirty racetrack and, you can slide off. But it's just it's the nature of the beast as we look at Mike Lewis.
Coming down pit road here, pulling up just past where he's going to be on the podium for the second time in GT1 and the 5th time in his career. We will certainly enjoy what he has to say, as there has to be quite a bit of satisfaction from Michael Lewis. Again, setting the second quickest time in qualifying. And Cliff Eben actually had a chance to score a back-to-back win here in GT1. Not able to do it, though. They were only separated by a little over a tenth of a second in qualifying. And as it comes out in the race, Michael Lewis able to come out on top as well after leading into lap 1. I mean, that was a power move on the outside. He just kept his pace.
Yeah, and it just looked like he had a better setup on his race car, too. Eben's car just didn't look to me like it was getting in the brake zones very good. Looked like he had a lot of understeer at the early part of those corners, and it makes it awful hard. As Lewis's car, toward the end, it loosened up like I thought it should. You saw him in the exit of turn 1 with a couple slides there, but it looked like a better balanced race car, no doubt about that.
Well, to the winner goes the spoils, and for the Mobile One Winners interview, here's John Bisignano.
Michael, congratulations on the super sweep and on your gold medal. Take us through that first lap. My gosh, you went for the lead all the way from turn 1 to turn 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that Cliff is just really slick around this place, especially on cold tires. So I thought it'd be a real good thing if we could maybe get out in front and try to hold pace. And luckily enough, we got down into one. He left me room. I left him room at the apex. It's just a pleasure to race guys like that. And certainly a worthy guy. Won the championship last year, and he pushed me all race long. Yeah.
But it wasn't that easy for you. Something broke right away?
Yeah, going down the back straight on lap 1, the exhaust breaks. I don't know where, but it got really loud in here and really hot fast. And I just thought it was going to catch the bodywork on fire. They usually do, but we just decided to go as long as we could, and it held up. It was amazing.
Now listen, to win a super sweep, to win the championship here, I mean, what kind of an effort went into this season?
It's a lot. We came back last year, and quite frankly, we didn't have it, and it showed. And quite frankly, we were pretty humiliated by that experience because we've always been strong here. So we worked really hard this year to try to bring our program up, and I think it showed in qualifying, and I think it showed in the race with a car that stayed there a long time. So a lot of hard work by Joe Geldert and the guys back at the shop. All credit to them.
Well, congratulations on the super sweep and a great gold medal here. Bonnie's coming in with it right now. Great to see you in the winner's circle, Michael. And, of course, Cliff, the man on pole position, but my gosh, Cliff, I got to say to you, you were driving that car every bit as fast as possible. You weren't leaving anything on the track, but you just didn't have enough for the guy today.
No, I was trying, but couldn't quite do it.
Where did he have the advantage on you?
Oh, a little bit in the carousel, and there wasn't really any big difference, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there, and just kind of kept dropping a little and picking back up, and couldn't quite get enough to get by.
I'll tell you, if he would have made it the simplest of mistakes, the problem is he didn't make any mistakes.
Yes, he didn't.
You would have been all over him.
Yep.
Well, listen, congratulations on a great silver medal. Pole position, that's also a great victory here in Road America.
Thank you.
And Amy, my gosh. Amy, your dad and I have been waiting for this for so long. You know, it's just wonderful to see you on the podium. And I have to say, it's wonderful to see a beautiful young lady on the podium. Congratulations on just a super drive.
Thanks a lot. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough car for them today, but you know, I'm proud of the McNichols team, and thanks to Goodyear and my parents and Sunweld for supporting us. And you know, we did the best we could, and unfortunately, they hooked up a little bit better than we did. But third has been our spot all year. We've gotten 3 podiums and Trans Am all thirds. This third, I got a second in the June sprint, so you know, maybe next year, we'll see.
Well, this one has to be the sweetest.
It is. I'm real excited to be finally on the podium. This is my 8th time trying, and my best finish so far in the Runoffs was 5th, so I'm excited. And
But this is what happens when the car stays together for you. Now, you were in a position times and times before, but, you know, the car let you down.
Car let me down. We got hit a few years. Mechanical failures took us out, but this year we put it all together, and we're here. We're on the podium. I couldn't be happier.
It all came together. God bless
Thanks,
you. You know,
thanks. Thanks.
All right, Dorsey. From Dorsey Schrader.
Tell Dorsey.
All right. He said I should have been on the lips, but I don't think so.
Okay.
All right, guys. I think they're going to be celebrating tonight.
I think they have every reason to, as Michael Lewis gets his super sweep here at Road America, the highest honor in club racing, and indeed a very deserving victory outlap for him. This is his 14th top 5 finish in 19 starts in the runoffs. I mean, he's been in 18 other runoffs, and that means GT3, GT1. He's had an amazing record in that. To make him mad after finishing 3rd last year, I mentioned a lot of money, a lot of time went into this run that ended up with the victory today, Dorsey.
Of course, he runs a pro effort as well outside of this car that he runs his personal car here at the Runoffs. And you heard him say that they weren't very good last year when they got here. They run a full-on pro team over on the American Le Mans Series side. So, I mean, he's very, very involved in racing. And for this one, you know, to take time out of his busy schedule and get this satisfaction for himself, well, good. That's what it's all about.
And I can tell you, it's a very nondescript trailer he brought it here with. Just a couple of guys, a couple of spares, and this race car rolled out and rolled back in, and he knew what he had. He only did qualify on 2 of the 3 opportunities. He was out in just 2 of the 3 sessions this week, which started on Monday and culminates with a victory for Michael Lewis in GT1, our latest national champion and our 2nd super sweep, I believe, of the 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs. On behalf of Dorsey Schrader, I'm Jim Trado. Thanks for watching the GT1 category.
The 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Subway, is brought to you by Mazda, Black Magic Car Care Products, and Gumout.
Forget the rock. Let's roll. Follow your inner driver to the all-new 2011 Mazda 2. It's Zoom Zoom. Concentrated.
Kid, where you been?
Just got back from an SCCA event.
Really?
Yeah, SCCA has more than 2,000 events every year.
Serious?
Go to SCCA.com and find people in your area that drive fast and get their hands dirty. And you don't have to be a supercar to compete.
So I go to SCCA.com, sign up, and I can start competing?
It's that easy.